Get a sound. There we go.
Alright, so like I set it up for when I adjusted the head joint, but make sure, like, I'm pretty sure Dana probably mentioned this, but keep the tone hole in line with this top key here.
Yep. So is this in line or is that in line?
See, you can never. It has to. You have to like look at like the actual tone hole of the flute, because a lot of times like they'll put the engravings off centered.
Okay.
So you actually have to like kind of do this one-eyed thing.
Oh.
Yeah, like you see half the flutes like in the beginning of band rehearsal, everybody's going like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just and then that'll just give you a consistent spot to line it up to every time. Because you really want to be consistent with your setup so you can work on your sound. Because if your setup changes every time, there's no way you're going to find a good sound.
So, my first question.
Holding it? We can start there.
Well, let's start with holding it. Because,
like,
we don't want our thumb, like, out here.
Correct. So,
where do you
I have a...
And also, does it matter if I have hitchhiker thumbs?
No.
Okay.
Let me get...
I have a pencil somewhere.
I know I have one somewhere. I might actually have one. Well, this is a good way that I tell everybody to get that thumb in a good spot, because it's different for everybody depending on the shape and size of your hand. Basically what you do is you like put a pencil down on a desk or something and then just pick it up. And wherever that falls for you is how you should hold the flute, like with the thumb in line with those fingers. Okay. It's a little different for everybody, so just see where it falls. You know, just pick it up. It's not going to bite. It's a pencil. Yeah, good. So then that's where you want your thumb to fall on the flute in line with your fingers.
So it should be more like that though, right? Like it shouldn't be turned in. Yeah,
like you don't want your thumb. The main thing I want to advise against is you don't want your thumb way back here or down here, because that limits the range of motion of your fingers. And then they should be like kind of balanced like on the bottom.
On the side, okay. Yeah,
just kind of like where it's comfortable. Like I might have thumb tends to go out like that a little bit, so I'm sure like that's fine.
Well, the thing is that I'm not going to drop it, which is the main thing. Wouldn't it just been horrible, just like in the middle of it,
Good. Yep, and then bottom 1, 2, 3. Good. You skip the one. Yep, just like that. And then for this balance point here, it's like kind of like your knuckle there. So you've got 4 balance points when you hold a flute. You've got this pinky. You got your thumb.
The thumb.
You have this. And you actually, your face is the 4th.
Yep. Yeah. So, like, the other problem is, like, playing through stuff, I'll just have my thumb constantly down. Like, how did you, probably, like, a billion years ago when you started playing?
Hold your flute with just this hand.
Just this hand?
Just for now, like, just hold it up. I just want to make sure that you aren't too far out with this finger.
Okay.
Because if you're too far out with that, I feel like there's like a comfortable spot if you don't want to be too far out, because then you don't have any thumb mobility.
Okay.
You just have to get used to the idea that this thumb isn't a balance point.
Yeah.
Like this thumb holds the flute, this one does not.
Okay.
This one should be free.
Yeah, that already feels more comfortable.
It's just not a balance point, and once you get more used to not relying on this thumb to balance it, then it should be fine.
Okay.
Cool. So we're holding the flute.
We're holding the flute.
So you can put it up to your face.
So like we keep saying, line it up here, correct?
It kind of like sits on like the bottom like line of your lip. For me, like let me like look at the shape of your face real quick. You can probably sit it in the ridge of your chin.
Okay. You can tell by like looking at somebody's face.
Yeah, some people have really flat chins, and the flute will like slide right down their face.
That's
but some people have like a little bit of like a thing there, so you can just kind of relax on your chin.
So like we keep saying two kind of is like the kind of shape you want to make, and I know that I'm jumping a bit if you're going from like the very basics excuse me, from the very basics, but just the fact that like I'm letting too much air out, but then like make a smaller hole, and I can't make much of a smaller hole with where my lip is, because I want to say like if it's here. Right.
Okay, so you're rolling in a bit, so don't roll in too much. And don't try to overlap too much. You're trying to like wrap your lips around each other like it's a reed instrument. For purposes now, just try and think of like almost keeping your lips in line.
Okay.
Usually I would tell people like try to aim them a little more overlap, but you're already overlapping them too much.
Okay.
So if you think about them more in line, it might sit back to where it should be.
Okay. So like I'm gonna try to do what I do like when I normally make the sound. It's like here, or when I actually make it. You'll see what I mean. So that's where I actually get a sound.
Okay.
For me. So that is not correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just gonna casually make a sound, and I'm just gonna watch. Let me see. So that's not bad. One thing I'm noticing is that like I guess you're thinking some kind of something where like your bottom lip is kind of like you have like a little divot there.
Okay.
And if you think your bottom lip more flat, like in a line, like don't think smile, think like frown. Yeah, that was
what
good.
you were saying, Dracula frowning, like that kind of.
Okay, yeah, I call it like my mega frown. Like I can like
Yeah.
go all the way down. So the sooner you can, yeah, like that. That was. I mean, obviously not that exaggerated, but like if you think that, if your corners think your corners more down.
Yeah. See, like I'm still pursing them though. Like I'm not supposed to do that, right?
Yeah, no. It should just be like flat and very relaxed and kind of mushy almost. You don't want anything firm. If you can think your corners down a little bit, that might. I mean, that was a little too much. I'm just laughing because like you have like such control of your facial muscles. Like I worked with Ryan and Mark, and they both like made like very slight adjustments. So I was like corners down, and we were like bam, and I was like whoa.
It's
So
my
that's
job.
good, though,
That's something I actually do. Is faces right, far away now.
No, that was good. So you obviously know how to work your facial muscles.
So it's not like when I think poo. I think poo.
You're making too much of an O. Like
So
if you like look in the mirror, like you're going too much. Like say poo.
Poo.
And see like you're like.
What do you do? Like if you were to say poo.
I don't know. That's a good question.
So you don't. It's all up here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You always say like more. Think more like a woo, like a woof
because it's not.
sound.
This doesn't move.
Yeah.
Which
if
is
you
what
keep
keep
that
trying to,
flat. So maybe if you think more woo.
See. Do what you need, whatever you think you need to do, and I will.
I'm gonna just mess with it a little bit. Rolling out a little more. You're getting like the hole like too close to.
Yeah.
So if you think of like resting the edge of the tone hole like on this line of where your lip meets your, I guess the rest of your face. Yeah. What is? There's a name for that, I'm sure. There's something.
Yeah.
One thing I'm noticing, like, you're just the way your face is shaped, you're kind of like slanted. I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
On my lips?
Yeah.
I have no feeling in the side of my mouth.
That would be good. Okay. Yeah. We're getting somewhere.
Yeah, is that, I'm assuming that's a problem.
Well, usually when you play flute, you want to say that your flute should be in line with your lips. Mm-hmm. It should be like two parallel lines. So for you might actually have to like tilt your head a little bit.
No.
Try like look in the mirror.
Which way would that be?
Yeah, like look in the mirror and like make a sound and then ready. Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So now it's just a matter of trying to refine your aperture a little more. But yeah, we're getting somewhere.
I'll just tilt my head like this.
But like that's fine because you see like half the flute players like we're just lazy, so like we all tilt our head because we're just like, who wants to play like that? That's not comfortable. So we just all tilt a little bit.
Yeah, like this. Yeah.
That's might be like a personal thing.
No, that makes sense. This is braces went straight through my face.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Good. Because I know there was a flute player who graduated last year, maybe the year before, but she actually like her aperture was a little off-centered, so that's like she just moved her flute over a little bit, and like that was fine. So everybody's faces are different. So when you're first beginning flute, we just like spend a lot of time like making faces at ourselves in mirrors. So that's like half the flute players in the world. Like you'll just see them staring at themselves in mirrors while they're practicing because we're just trying to see what's going on. Like if we don't get a good sound, we're like, okay, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Because your upper lip is the thing that creates the resistance.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now, but that's why I've been like, why is this not?
Yeah, so maybe if you try and like think about keeping those more parallel, then that might help you out.
definitely feels
It's probably
like it's actually doing something.
different, but no. The other thing I'm noticing is when you play, see like that little triangle of air?
Yes.
You should aim it to be like centered over
You want it to be
the
a triangle.
yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure it looks like it might be a little off center. I'll watch a moment.
I'll just do it for like if it's is it showing
Because
up?
it looks like it's going that way. So weird. Weird.
Did that work?
Yeah, that made your tone like so much more there. It's much more present. So you might just have to either tilt your head or you can put your flute a little less.
Oh, okay.
Like you don't have to hold your flute straight, and you can say.
I'll put my hand in it. That's funny that like weeks of like, why isn't this working? And now it makes so much more sense. Already's worth everything.
That's really interesting.
It makes sense. I mean, if that like I've not looked at myself. Well, actually, no, we did.
But you probably didn't know what to look for.
Yeah.
So you were just kind of like, okay, we're looking at ourselves.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool, I can do this in my bathroom.
So what in terms of like if you wanted somebody to get a nice like be able to go to the next octaves, and I know that you probably have like a range of like 17 octaves or something
Like
along those lines.
3, but
17. We'll round up. So how does one like just do that? As in like when we were playing
all
clarinet,
in the bottom lip.
it's all in the bottom. It's
Yeah.
all in the bottom lip. So
I'll show you
what
right
do
now.
You do?
So if I've got like a low G, I'm going to play a note that I can do with one hand. I'm not doing anything with my air. I'm not doing anything with any muscles. I was just literally just pushing my bottom lip up.
Yeah.
And then when you learn how to use those muscles, you go. You just learn how to isolate that, but it's all bottom lip support, and that's how you get high notes to keep them from cracking.
So the eyebrows don't do anything.
They might. I don't know.
Oh, I was just saying.
I probably move my eyebrows. Like I'm probably listening in. Okay, here we are. But that's the same for high notes too, to keep them supported. To keep them supported, that like quiet, it's not because you still need that fast air, so you do that all by, it's the size of your aperture, which is controlled by your bottom lip. Now a lot of people will cheat with those high notes and just overblow them because they're like, oh, fast air.
Well, that's
but that trains bad habits.
Yeah.
So to get that fast air, it's like the difference between blowing through a straw and a coffee stirrer. Like coffee stirrer is very thin.
Yeah.
So you don't need as much air to get the air to move fast at the end. With like a straw or a wider tube, if you blow air through it, you need more air to get that same speed. So you can get fast air by just closing the size of your aperture a little more, which is bottom lip.
Yes. Jeez.
Bottom lip support.
So it's, the G is it's just the first G in the thumb.
Yep, just thumb 1, 2, 3, and then the pinky.
Yeah.
You just always use your pinky because it's a balance point. It doesn't actually really do anything to the pitch.
Let's see if we get back to that sweet spot again.
Yeah, right.
No.
Don't blow too hard. Let me see what you're doing here. Try moving it down a little bit.
Yeah, I was just saying. Come on. Sorry.
Maybe roll out a little bit too.
I'm just doing it. Flute. Stick with me.
Right? Have you ever played a water bottle?
I played yeah.
Pretend you're playing a water bottle.
Because that's more like slowly.
You're getting a little bit of a harmonic, so.
See, I told you I wouldn't be a prodigy.
It's okay. I think you could stand to move it down to like
whatever you want to do.
here, maybe? Maybe slide over on your face a little bit.
So you were witness to this.
Yes.
I was making sounds.
The sounds are there.
Is it because I wonder if I do an A, if I'm...
There's something.
Yeah. So
Try going up.
Yeah.
Because open notes are easier to play. There's something.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
So I
good,
guess
good.
we'll go from the B. So
Yeah.
then if I were to go up an octave from there, is that like a tough
It's
thing?
the same fingering, you would
Yeah,
just need
yeah.
faster air. Yeah. And like if you think about like supporting it from your core too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Normally it does like a cool two sounds at the same time. Two tones at the same
Yeah,
time.
you're getting like that subtone because it's the
I'd
flute
I'd
is like
to-
built off of like that harmonic
Yeah.
series thing, so you're just getting the lower
Yeah.
tones in that because it's not focused yet.
I'd like to believe it is an advanced technique.
You can go with that.
So. Because I mean, it's you said woo. Keep this down. Because I can't. I feel like like you're letting it completely go loose, and you're not.
Like, I'm like-
as in, like there's no.
Let me see what I'm doing.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so just watch the angle of it a little bit,
Yeah.
or turn your head, tilt your head. I'm trying to see what.
Yours is like. I'm trying to figure out where your aperture is because it's like it's not there. When you're
That's so funny that you said that because Mark was saying the same thing. Like,
what like?
he couldn't find it either. He was like, I don't get what you're doing. And I'm like,
it's-
me too.
Because it looks like you're doing this.
But if I tilt my head back, you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think it's just, it's like pretty overlapped because it's pretty refined. Better be refined after spending like 3+ hours a day doing this for the past 4 years of my life.
So I'm doing that with my tongue, which is not good. I'm just realizing.
There's a reason it works though, and it's because you're making the airstream faster. Because you're just making the space inside your mouth smaller, so you're kind of cheating the system a little bit. If you could figure out a way to like control your aperture, I wish I had a coffee stirrer.
Well, we did something like that, but it was just kind of like blow across it.
Because if I make it like really big.
How do you do that? Your whole bottom lip like encompasses the whole thing. I take up like this much room, like barely the whole. Like
I think it's because you got to make sure that you're just keeping it super mushy. Like there should be nothing going on in that bottom lip.
yeah,
like
because even with the woo, like I feel like I can't. Like from a making face stuff, like that's talking like this, and like
yeah.
it's kind of like how do you articulate
just,
it? Do you go? Like,
yeah, it's pretty much like that. If you think that nice flat bottom lip and then bring your corners down a little bit.
It's just like
It's so much thinking, but like if you find it, then it might. Don't go too high up.
I'm gonna do that.
Roll out a little bit. Roll out.
So I mean, like as opposed to when I walked in here, I have a basic idea of how to like aim correctly. Like not that I didn't have an idea of it, but now like I understand what the actual problems are. So that in itself is a victory.
Try making sure they're parallel again. So bring up your flute a little more.
I feel like how do you like? I know that must be such an easy note for you, but like the G, like why is that going?
Because like
Does it require more air for you? Like is it something where?
it's notes get the more fingers you put down, the less the instrument rings.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of it. So if they just notes get more stuffy, so you've got to create think more space inside. Like you're a singer, so lots of space. You always got to think like lots of big open space to get all the air moving in your mouth. Like flute is the same way because this is your resonance. Like right here, this little top lip thing. Your triangle looks more centered, so you're aiming your air right now. It's just a matter of try holding a steady airstream and then rolling in and out and seeing where. It still looks like you're sneaking your flute a little high up on your face.
Sorry.
A little bit. Try with just the B again. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was just holding it down.
Yeah. So try and see find that sound again and just try and see what that feels like. Think about how everything feels.
It feels like my bottom lip is too far up on it. Like, you keep telling me to put it further down, like under the crest, or like where the lip meets the rest of the face.
Like it should be like about there. You just want to make sure it's not like up here.
Okay.
I mean, because I know like how to aim stuff, I can still get a sound.
Here, I'll do this myself. Learn. There we go. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, just so I'm not holding you up for forever. This is like kind of a last thing. Well, this is all here now, so I realized I was reading the trill chart, which makes things a lot. It makes sense now.
It's like, why are some of these gray?
I don't know. I was like, I don't know. Maybe they. Or you kind of half. So I was like trying to hold them like halfway down.
Oh gosh,
like
bend them or something. I'm like, that doesn't work.
Why isn't it working? This should be making a note, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it was just gonna be really basic stuff.
No, that's fine. I'm glad I helped.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I mean, before I was making like. If I had my computer, I could show you my first videos of like just going. Or like you could do this.
I gave you some things to like
Absolutely.
sleep on, and if you have any other questions, I'm like always here. Like I basically live in this basement.
Okay.
So you can either just walk around and find me, or Facebook message me, or whatever, and I'm happy to help.
Well, thank you.